Hey guys, welcome to fall. I plan on having videos like this out every week or so, now that we are going into the football season away from daily sports so that I have more time to prepare for videos. And so, as we are in kind of the WNBA hiatus, I kind of wanted to give a video for you guys of kind of how we're breaking down college football to start the year. So college football is just under 4 weeks away from week 0, when we have Miami against Florida and Hawaii playing Arizona. So it's a great time just to talk and kind of figure things out. And so now that I'm in Pennsylvania for the night, I decided to open FanDuel, and I saw some team totals, and I wanted to kind of bet them. So I've kind of set this up as a kind of preview to what I bet. And so what we've done is eventually you guys will see this in about a month or so as the college football season gets going. This is our model page. The first week, week 0, we'll have Miami against Florida and Hawaii taking Arizona. What you'll see is the expected points from my model, the model spread, the model total, and then we compare that versus Vegas, the spread and the total. Obviously, we're 4 weeks away from anything, so Vegas totals aren't going to be populated, so this effect is not going to be as strong as it will in a few weeks. But even though so, we are starting to see that there is some value on some teams. We're starting to see value on Hawaii early on. Scroll down, UMass, Utah State, Nevada. Then we saw some big ones. Boise State is a big value there, as well as Fresno State against sadly my USC Trojans in week 1. So this is kind of what you'll see. I'll have more videos on this and kind of talking through week 0 as it approaches. But the main gist of what I wanted to do here today was I ran my model against every team and every FBS team, and it came out with what I would expect for each team to produce win-wise over the course of a season. And I compared it versus FanDuel's odds because I'm here in Philadelphia, and so I wanted to kind of see if there was any value that I could jump on. And so I'll show you kind of what I did. And so you'll see, you'll kind of see that I've kind of broken down. So I took each game, so who's away, who's home. So I figured out what my spread was for each game, and then my win percentage. And so that kind of led me to this little chart here where I took each team. I looked at how many games they've played, how many meaningless games they have, against FCS teams where they're going to be favored by 50. And then I took the sum of their away wins and some of their home wins into a projected win, cross-reference versus Vegas, to line up some value. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about here today. So the first team I kind of want to talk about, and this is kind of just to show you kind of what the model does and how it kind of works. So we'll kind of talk through Clemson. And so Clemson, stud of the ACC, there's really horrific teams in the ACC this year. It's really held up by one team, and they're just expected to steamroll throughout the entire competition. And so you'll see there's a team name at the top, each of the opponents, whether it's home or away, the projected spread of the model for each of the games, and then that's converted to a winning percentage. And so you'll see the first game's at home against Georgia Tech. My model has them projected to win by 37. Obviously, that's pretty much a lock to win that game. Next game against Texas A&M, projected to win by 19. They get pretty much a lock to win that game, all the way down to their last game, which is their toughest test at South Carolina, where they're still projected to win by 2 touchdowns. So my model calculates them, sums them together into a total win percentage, or total projected wins of about 11.83 wins. Vegas, so FanDuel has them at 11.5, and so there's 0.3 wins of value on the over, which is not many. That's not what we're going to look at. It's a no bet for me, even though I do think that they do go 12 and out. It's a no bet because I want to see at least one win of difference. So I want, if someone's at 5.5, I want them at 6.5 or higher. I want a large gap. You'll see in this video kind of how those kind of edges are shown. And so the first team I want to talk about is Appalachian State. And so Appalachian State has a new coach. Eli Dinklage is coming into a very stable offense. Returning 9 starters on offense. They had an amazing running game. Dinklage's specialty is through the passing game. I think he's going to open Zach Thomas up a lot, which is going to allow him to throw, allow him to put up points. And what's really going to solve the game is they have a top 5 defense. They have one of the best defenses in the country. Against the Sun Belt and everyone else they're really going to face, it's going to overmatch them. I'm expecting to see some pretty high spreads coming out of these games. And it's going to be one place that I go a lot in my bets as the year goes on. And so, as you can see, we have the team, App State at the top. Again, their opponents, East Tennessee State at home, supposed to win that by 30. 100% chance to win that game. Pretty much a lock. Charlotte, their first real test is at North Carolina. But again, my model has them winning that game by 4.5 points, which gives them about a 63% chance to win. And what I like about this is, so Vegas odds give them about a 9, give them 9 is the over-under. And so they play 12 games, and so what we see here is that they're favorites in every single game besides one. And so if they live out to Vegas just expectations, they should go 11-1 and lose at South Carolina, which it's fine. I think that they will lose in their game in there. But I think that the nice thing about looking at Appalachian State's schedule is that they should be perfect at home. They play East Tennessee State, minus 30. Charlotte, minus 30. Coastal Carolina, minus 26. Louisiana Monroe, minus 21. Georgia Southern, minus 13.5. That's the hardest game at home. It's a 2-touchdown favorite. So they should go perfect at home. And then all they need to do on the road is go 3-3, and you got your push. 4-2, and just be above average, and you got your cover. My favorite thing about this line is that it's minus 120. It's minus 125 on the over, and as you'll see kind of through my next two value propositions, the next two are much higher odds. Vegas is giving us a gift here, and we should take it wherever we can. So the next team I want to talk about was Texas. So Texas is a very interesting. It's truly a Vegas darling. I mean, everyone, you talk about the horns down thing. It's just stupid, but everyone gets butthurt over Texas. Everyone loves Texas or you hate them. Vegas is in love with them this year, and they have them projected to win 9.5 games. Which, if you look at their schedule, if you're playing a 12-game season and you have one game against LSU, you have another game against Oklahoma, 2 of the top 5 teams in the nation, Vegas is expecting you to win at least one of those. And then you're facing Iowa State on the road. Yeah, good luck. You're facing Oklahoma State. It's a tough game. You're facing West Virginia on the road. Those are not easy games. This is not like looking at Clemson, where ACC is horrible. You're facing a tough conference. You got Oklahoma, you got LSU if you're a non-conference game. Our projections have kind of Texas as a middle-of-the-road Big 12 team, and that's kind of where we see a large edge here. You can see that kind of when you look at the game against Iowa State on the road. It's a 50-50 game. Their game on the road against Baylor, another 50-50 game. There's a lot of 50-50 games for such a high total. And so our total projected win, we have about 7.35. I think they win 8. I think that they get swept by LSU and Oklahoma and drop a couple along the way, especially against Iowa State later in the season. So I don't think that there's any real chance that they're going to cover this. I think that there's a massive edge here, and one that I'm definitely going to bite the juice on. as I'm totally willing to do that. As I don't see any way that they get to 10 wins here. And the last team I want to talk about, is Missouri. And so I think Missouri, I think the Vegas odd makers are forgetting, or they're just seeing that Drew Lock's gone. I don't think that they're seeing that, Kelly Bryant is coming into the system, who is a better quarterback, college quarterback, than Drew Lock would ever be. Better on the run, proven passer, has led one of the top offenses in the nation at Clemson. One of the things that people don't notice is back in 2017, they started 1-5. Since then, they're 14-6. Vegas expects them to has a total at 7.5 games. Our model has them at 8.85. There's a solid value on the over, and I am even more bullish on them at 10-2. I think that they are facing a pretty easy schedule. They have some pretty easy games. They're facing Southeastern Missouri. That's pretty much a lock game. They're facing Wyoming in their first game. And what I like about their schedule is after Wyoming, they have 5 home games in a row. And I can see them totally going on a win streak here, getting to 6-0, getting in the top 10 in the nation, and then they go on the away on the road trip. And I think that they could end up going through that at about 1-2 or 2-1. I think that's either way. And then they come home against a tough Florida team, but I think that they actually pull that out. And then they have 2 pretty easy games coming out of that. So again, I see tremendous value on Missouri here. I don't think people realize that this is a season to them. They actually got suspended for their bowl game, so this is it. The season is it for them. And I think they come out and they play every single game, and their fan base is strongly behind them. So so those are my 3 bets. I plan on placing them tonight while I'm in Pennsylvania and sweating out the season. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I plan on having more content like this out every week. College football, pro football, kind of just talking about the fun fall sports. So I hope you enjoy it.